I'm Captain Hughes, United States Navy, retired. I serve as chaplain for the Military Funeral Honors Team of Lake County, a team made up of all volunteers, all veterans of the Armed Forces of the United States. President John F. Kennedy once said, "A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers." Today we're here to honor such a one, to remember him because he deserves to be remembered and honored. We veterans are here to honor him because he too was a veteran.
Oh yes.
Why should we honor veterans? Well, I believe there are at least two reasons. First, for the future of our military, we need to remember those who have served in the past. As George Washington, our first commander-in-chief, said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation." And second is the realization that because of the great sacrifices made by so many men and women who have served in the armed forces in the past, we are able to live in a time and a place where freedom is taken for granted. The great King Solomon of long ago wrote the following insight: "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." And now the time has come to pay honor to a fallen comrade, a fellow veteran, to remember him because he deserves to be remembered and honored for the service that he rendered to our country. We veterans are assembled here because we believe all veterans deserve to be remembered and honored for their service. We honor them as brothers in arms. All too often, it seems, we are called upon to say a sad farewell to a fallen comrade. As the years roll on, we too will have finished our fight and shall answer that final roll call. Until then, may we so live that when our time comes, those we leave behind may say of us, as we say now of this departed comrade, "He was an honorable man, a staunch patriot, a faithful defender of freedom." And let us who remain remember that freedom is never free. All veterans gave some, and some gave all to ensure the freedom we cherish. It was President Ronald Reagan who said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same." The honor team will now render the traditional military salute to a fallen comrade, which consists of the firing of 3 rifle volleys, the folding and the presentation of the flag, and the playing of taps. We have 2 members of the Army Honor Guard here today who will do the folding and the presentation of the flag. When the bugler begins to play taps, would you please stand, and if you're a veteran, you may render the hand salute. If not, please place your right hand over your heart. And then after the playing of taps, you may be seated for the folding and the presentation of the flag. Firing party commander, take charge and render the appropriate salute.
Right, hut. What? Huh. Safety's off. Ready. Hey. Fire. Ready. Aim. Fire. Ready. Aim. Fire. Present. Huh. Present. Huh.